review. Today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series Dial Tone action figure. Now, this is one of the more elusive figures from the classified lines. I actually found this at a local seller. As I adjust my camera here, I probably should have done this before the live stream, but you know. One of the more elusive figures, he was kind of released earlier on in the year, and then what was that? I think around January or February. He had some releases, and then he's been on pre-order and other websites for a while too. So it's very odd, the distribution. I get the whole tariff thing, but like I don't know, it's just weird. Pre-orders have been sold out on him. It's just been an oddball type situation with some of these Hasbro releases. Like even the what was it? Just talking about the Black Series for a second. The single carded release of Star Killer. That thing has been up for pre-order for almost a year and a half now, and they still haven't fulfilled the orders. So it's very strange, to be honest with you, offhand. Just remembering that because I still have him on pre-order, the single card release. But anyway, talking about classified here, Dial Tone, like I said, he kind of came out and kind of didn't. So it's very strange. But let me get all the accessories off of him so you guys can kind of see everything. We'll go through everything. He does have some extra features, functions, and features to him as well. So we'll get to all that. You can take the hat off too. I guess we can call that an accessory, but he does come with the hat on in the box. If you're a regular in my channel, then Applebone, what's going on, man? How you doing? He looks cool from what I'm seeing so far. Yeah, I mean, he's a aesthetically pleasing to the eye character with the color palette. Just alone, the color palette, I think, looks really good as far as that's concerned. He does, like I said, have some quirky features to him. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you're doing well today on this fine, was it Thursday? I'm losing track of time now. Yeah, so the figure, this is everything that he comes with. He comes with a knife, which is an all black plastic right there, as you can see. So there you go. And then he comes with a, like, what looks to be like a cell phone. Let me back up a little bit, sorry. And there's the other side of the cell phone. You can see the two little, I don't know if you can see this, hopefully you can, but they are, for some reason, every time I'm live, it doesn't like to focus. But you can see there's two little photo lenses right there. So for camera lenses, photo lenses, I don't know what I'm talking about. Next up, he comes with this, it looks like to be like a sonic device of some sort. Kind of reminds me of the Mezco. If you picked up any of the 1/12 scale Mezco Batman figures, it kind of reminds me of that. It looks like to be like a sonic gun or maybe some sort of scrambler of some sort. Or maybe it's just to kind of like if in the NFL how they have those big like dish to pick up more sound so people can hear, or maybe it's to amplify sound. I don't know, but it looks cool nonetheless. You can't take the radar or the little dish off or anything like that, but you know, there you go with that. I wouldn't blame anyone for losing a cell phone because it's very small. Oh yeah, absolutely, very small, very teeny, but there is a function to this cell phone, which we'll get to in a second. Next up, he comes with his beret, which he is very well known for having a beret. And it's just a black plastic with a little bit of silver paint for the insignia. So that's it for that. Next up, he's got his assault rifle. I'm not sure what real-world assault rifle this is probably after, but it does, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It does have a removable magazine. It is a magazine, not a clip. I don't know why people call magazines clips, but It's not a clip. Anyway, um, you see this big hook right here. That's actually for this feature right here, which is the cell phone. The cell phone actually slides in here, and I'm gonna assume that this is meant to be some sort of, like, maybe he records while he's shooting, or maybe he uses this as a sight. I don't know why you would do that. That's very strange to have a cell phone as your sight, but I mean, it's, G.I. Joe, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of sci-fi mixed with military. That's kind of their shtick forever. So I don't mind this. It wasn't really, I don't think, a part of the original figure, which is fine. I don't mind adapting new, different features for figures. I think most figures should have a feature, but that's really the function for the cell phone here. Yeah, it is pretty cool and creative. It's definitely different, Yeah, especially it looks a little weird with without the cell phone on there. I mean, it almost looks like he could just hook it right here and it'd be dangling from him. But obviously that's not the purpose of it. Now, secondary purpose, you can take the cell phone and you can slide it right into this little pouch, and it does have a stopper right up here. So there you go with that. So nice little cell phone holder, The last piece that he comes with is his very iconic backpack, which is a communication device. It does have a couple features to it. The first feature, which is you want to plug it into his back, and it actually does plug in pretty tight, unlike some of the older classified figures where the peg was really short and it would just kind of flop off. We're going to give this one the shake test, and you can tell that it's not falling off. But you really do have to kind of push it in, make sure that the suit is lined up, or the tack vest is lined up with the hole in the back, and then give it a good, nice push once you got those holes lined up. So the first feature is the over-eye device. I'm assuming that this is maybe for a targeting system. Maybe he paints targets, stuff like that. I don't know offhand, but pretty cool as far as that. Maybe it's like for infrared, or I don't know. So I'm just guessing here. But the secondary piece, which that can swivel up and down and back, as far as it being an articulated piece. The next piece is the little computer on the back of his big backpack. And there's a lot of detailing going on here. And let me see if I can get my lighting just right without knocking 10,000 things over. If I can get that going for you. There goes the paintbrush. But there's a ton of detailing in there and some paint shading going on in there, which is pretty cool too. So that's pretty nice. I like that quite a bit. It's a nice little touch, nice little added bonus to the figure. I very, very much like that. And then on the side over here, you can also see that he has what looks to be like a camera over here, and maybe this is like another secondary camera right there. This looks like one of those cameras where they can like swivel and look around, and maybe that's what this is for. So like when he has this on and somebody's like behind him, he can see it in that display. And then you can turn around and counterfire them, So that's something that can be pretty cool. The sculpt and the paint looks good for the backpack. Yeah, it's very well done. It's not just one color like most backpacks are. So it's multicolored, and the details are really brought out with a lot of the paint. So they definitely put a lot of time and effort into this figure. So I'm very pleased with it. And I like the way the backpack sits on his back, and it also holds this kind of bandolier style belt to his person. Usually when I have like bandoliers and stuff like that kind of are loose, I usually would just glue them, just because I don't have a plan of them ever being taken off or anything like that. But there you go with that. And he can hold everything. There's his beret back on, and I'll give him the shake test and see if that falls off. It doesn't. Everything can... There's dog hair. Sorry. I have 4 dogs. There's that. The knife can go right in here, like so. He can hold this jamming device or whatever that is, technically. I'm sure somebody knows. They'll let me know in the comments. And he can hold his rifle. So, no sidearm with him. I don't really think he necessarily needs a sidearm. Some characters do and some characters don't. I mean, if you're talking like real world, he probably would have a sidearm on him, but, you know, that's essentially, you know, this is kind of taking the place of that because, you know, there's only so much plastic that can be used in a $25 figure, so there's that. Some of the details and stuff like that before I get to articulation, range of motion. I already pointed out all the details for the backpack, and I showed off the backpack. There you go. And the features and everything. I guess I should show the inside with the wiring. Some black paint there with all the nice silver. It's very shiny silver too, like very metallic finish to it with the brown. I think it works really well. This kind of reminds me of something that they could possibly maybe retool and use for maybe a Pursuit of Cobra edition Rakondo. If you remember the Pursuit of Cobra line, he had kind of like a very cool, funky backpack where it was used as like a tracking device as well. He had like a bear trap that would attach to it with a string, and you could reel it in. So if you caught somebody, you could reel it in and have him like walk with the guy being dragged. I thought that was pretty cool. But this kind of reminds me a little bit of that, just a little bit. But it would definitely have to be heavily retooled for that. Some of the other details of him, like I said, the bandolier style belt going across his chest looks very well done. I like the smoke grenade here and then the frag right there. So nice. Got a pouch right here and then 2 more pouches. Maybe those are possibly for more magazines for his rifle. Over here we got some more pouches on the belt, and those look good. There's the cell phone holder right there. We've got a radio, which is sculpted in. You cannot remove this radio. It's just kind of an extra detail for the figure. The knees, the legs look really good. Nice sculpt for the boots. They are a little bit rounded, the boot. A little bit on a rounding point right there, but it's not too bad. Applebone says, yeah, I feel like the price is good for the figure from much accessories are included with him. Yeah, I agree. I would say the amount of accessories that he does come with is a good value at the $25 price. This is also a separate piece right here. It looks to be like some sort of, I don't know, maybe like another pouch or something. It looks like there's something in there. Maybe they're like little like data spikes or something like that. Like a USB something port, or I don't know what the hell it's called. He does have a patch on his side right here, and it says Telecon on it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you probably can't because it was blurry a second ago. Sorry about that. But it does say Telecon on there. He has this like kind of like tech gauntlet on, or bracelet, whatever you want to call it. And that is a separate piece as well, and it can articulate. This piece on the cuff can also articulate as well. And I'm trying to think of anything else on him. Oh, he does have a earpiece that actually goes into a throat piece right there for being able to communicate. So that's actually really nicely done as far as a nice little added sculpted detail for the head and the neck. So it looks really good, and I think it fits the character perfectly. The head sculpt, I think, looks very well done. I'm very pleased with the head sculpt, and the hair, I think, looks nice, too. Just kind of got the, I guess, a little bit of a faux hawk there, like a more modernized faux hawk. But I think it works for dial tone. So good sculpt with the face. It looks iconic enough for dial tone. And then, actually, let's go through articulation really quick. The head kind of leaves me feeling a little bit wanted as far as better head and neck articulation. There we go. Sorry. Of course, somebody has to call me. I'm on Do Not Disturb, but somehow the call still went through, so it like froze the stream for a second. I apologize for that. So as far as his articulation does go, like I said, we do have a ball joint down here and up at the neck, so you have that. His head can only look up about that far, which is really, really, really kind of lackluster. The head can look down only that much. It's really, really kind of poor as far as the head articulation. You can only really get this amount, which really kind of sucks a little bit. Let's see, we got jive turkeys. Yeah, we got jive turkeys up in here. Head can tilt side to side a little bit. You know, there's that. It can swivel, obviously. The collar piece does get in the way of the articulation a little bit. Arms go up at a T pose like that, and that's maxed out. They can go down. You can do a full 360 if you want to, but these are human beings, and I don't want to break their arms or their shoulder. We don't want to give them shoulder surgery. That's just not nice. He does have a butterfly joint, which is very, very hindered. And I mean, like, very hindered. It's mostly due, I want to say, to how deep the cut is. It's very shallow cut for the butterfly joint, but it's also the tack vest getting in the way, and that's kind of the crux of classified. He does have a swivel at the shoulder joint, which meets the butterfly joint, and then he also does have a bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow. He does have a wrist swivel, and this is actually a watch. I'm sorry, I didn't even realize that because it was upside down the whole time. There we go. There's your watch right there. It's red with a digital display on it. But he does have a wrist swivel, and he does have a lateral hinge joint on this side, so side to side, and then on this side it is vertical, up and down, but it's very, very hindered due to this kind of gauntlet tech piece. He can swivel at the waist. He does have an ab crunch, a more traditional looking ab crunch like that. And he can crunch forward and back if you really force it. It can swivel. Also, it can kind of tilt a little bit, so you get a little bit more character out of that ab crunch. He does have drop downs, but they're very, very stiff, and they are very shallow as far as, well, that side goes down further than this side does. So that one's a little bit higher than that, but they are there. So if you like that sort of thing, go for it. Legs go forward. They go back. Upper thigh swivel. He does have a double jointed knee. He does have a boot swivel on both sides, and he can pointy toe. He can pointy heel. Let's check this side. He can go further on this side than this side just because of the knife and the sheath. But he also has ankle pivot and 2 peg holes and a partridge in a pear tree. So that's it for articulation, range of motion, sculpt, detail, accessories, all that fun stuff. Let me catch up on some of these comments here. Since you got G.I. Joe figures, have you got the Cobra Commander, the retro card one? Because I got him a while back and I enjoyed him. Felt like it was worth the price. Yeah, I have the retro card, and I have the Mickey Mouse one that came with the Hiss Tank because I backed the Hiss Tank. So yeah, it's a good figure. It's definitely a good solid figure. I don't mind the newer design too. I think they both have a place. But obviously a lot of people are going to like the retro one. I totally get it. So, but that's it. I mean, he can pose, he can do poses and such. Let's get him kind of like he's in he's sliding on skates here. But yeah, you can get him at a ready stance if you need to. He doesn't have any fists, so it kind of looks a little weird with the trigger hands, but you can get him there. He can do it. He can do this stuff. He can do the things. That's all most modern figures can do. There you go, right there. Ready stance. Um, so no problem there. Let's get a kick. Not that he's the most fluid character of, especially in doing martial arts and such. I'm sure he knows something, but as far as him being a big martial arts type character, I don't think so, Tim. You know, so like I said, the feet are a little bit curved, so it is a little bit more difficult, but it's not too difficult to get him to do stuff. Like I said, he can do all the stuff that a normal character can do. There's your kick, no problem. So there you go with that. He can do all the stuff. He's fun. He's cool looking. Now he's doing a pose here. He's doing the hurricane pose. What's up with that? There you go. Yeah, I like the fact that a lot of these GI Joe characters and figures that they come out with Classified are a very cohesive, thought out process with their accessories. Everything can be held on him. Nothing has to go into a little baggie somewhere. I think it would have been kind of cool if there was a spot to attach this somewhere. I think that would have been cool if you could have put a little clip right there and then clip this on just for some storage. So, if you do want to, and I guess we could try and fit this in here, but I highly doubt it's going to fit in there. Yeah, it's just no, that's not going to work. So there's that also to point out. But he can't hold everything, so that's fine. You can bring him on a mission if you go traveling and you like to do like I do. Every time I go traveling, I bring a couple figures with me and I do some photo ops. I'm supposed to be going to Italy in a couple months, so I'll be doing that. So expect some Italy photos. Can't wait to go back to Italy again. Apple Bones says, I know this might be a dumb question. No question is a dumb question. But when I said about the Cobra Commander one, why did you say the Mickey Mouse version? So back in the day, there was it's kind of like an error where Cobra Commander, the original vintage Cobra Commander, came with a Mickey. It looked like Mickey Mouse. It's just known as the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, where the Cobra logo on his chest looked like Mickey Mouse. Now, that's kind of up to interpretation. I don't necessarily think it looked a whole lot like Mickey Mouse, but that's just what people are referring to with Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. So they did an homage to that with the Hiss Tank from the vintage figure, with the Hiss Tank fourth tier, I think it was, because that set came with 4 figures: Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, the driver for the Hiss Tank, the gunner, and the tactician. And then there was Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander. So all of that stuff kind of came together, and that's what I'm referring to when we're talking about that specific Cobra Commander. So, all right, let's get to some comparisons and such, and we'll go from there. But yeah, hopefully that helped and answered your question. There we go. Do that. Do some of that. And I do have so if you check my posts, or if you saw my post a few days ago, I said I kind of got a Holy Grail item. Now, I have a few things on my Holy Grail list, but this is something that I passed on a few years ago, and I had the opportunity to get. And so I initially was going to do a live stream for it, and I'll get some figures while I'm doing comparisons. But I think I'm just going to do a edited video for it because it's a big item. I don't want to take up a ton of time of people's time with a live stream. So I think I'm just going to do an edited, cohesive video, and it'll just be a lot better, I think, for you guys. But as far as comparisons go, here's we'll get a couple Black Series figures that I usually grab to be comparisons. There's one of my favorite Black Series figures is the Dagobah, and then we've got the Republic Commando from the 2-pack with the training battle droid. So there you go, and that's the one from Battlefront 2, that design. All right, so that's it for Black Series comparisons. I guess we could do some. We'll do a NECA figure next. We'll do the Phantom. That's the old Phantom, the original look for Phantom. And do I have another NECA figure around here? Maybe not. We'll just use He-Man. This is another one of my favorite figures that Mattel released within the last couple years. Is this 40th anniversary He-Man? Absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. This is like the He-Man I think I always wanted when I was a kid. You know, the original figures are endearing and all, but like this just, it's so good looking. Love it. I like it a lot. Good release. So there we go with that. NECA figure and a Mattel figure. Next up, we'll do a Operation Monster Force Dracula. And then we'll do a Jada Toys figure. Here's a Universal Monsters Wolfman. There you go with that. And I gotta put him in there because he's one of my favorites. I always do. Here's the Invisible Man too, from Jada Toys. I still need to get the rest of the crew. I gotta get Dracula, and I have to get the creature from the Black Lagoon, and I think Frankenstein. And then I'll be done with that. All right, next up we'll switch it up, and we'll go with a Marvel Legend and Ben Reilly Spider-Man. There's that. And we'll go with the new X Factor Cyclops. So there you go with those comparisons. And we'll take him out and we'll put the Punisher in next. There's another Marvel Legend for you. And if anybody's commenting, I will pull those up in a second. I'm kind of hovering over the camera right now, trying to pick figures up. Next up, we'll do an Action Force figure. One of my favorites, which is Desert Condor. I love that figure. It's a lot of fun to play around with. Desert Condor. And, well, you know what? I'll leave him in. And then we'll bring in come on. Situate yourself, sir. We'll bring in Retro Duke. Come on, Duke. Come on. Get your act right, please. There we go. Retro Duke. There's a good comparison with those two. Very similar in colors and such. I wish they would have released that Retro Duke with a screaming head too. That would have been great, saying "Yo, Joe." You know, that would have been cool. All right, next up we'll switch up to McFarlane. And actually, you know what? Let me bring another Action Force figure I just picked up, and I really like this figure. I think it's the Zolocon exclusive. What you call it? Zolocon exclusive Steel Brigade. He's a good one. I like this guy. He's got the back metal head. Really nice. I want to do a review of this guy because he is unique, I think. Pretty unique looking. So there's that. Next up, we'll switch it up to McFarlane. We'll go with... We'll bring in the big woman on campus, Power Girl. She is a tall lady. And we'll go with Cyborg Superman. There you go. Oop. There we go. Now he's looking at you. All right, Hank Henshaw for you. And then we'll go with, we'll do a couple more McFarlanes. We'll do one of my favorites. Two of my favorites, actually. Two Superman figures. Let's see if I can get him in the shot with that big old cape. There is the Max Fleischer Superman. And I guess we could do this one. The other one's on a flight stand right now. I was going to do the Kingdom Come Superman, but there you go. There's the Silver Age Superman. Two Supermen right there. And then we'll go with two more G.I. Joe figures. We'll do do Darklon. There's Darklon just released. I just did his live review about a week ago or so. And there's the Frag Viper. He's a really solid figure too. All right, so there's Darklon, Dylon, and Dylon. Next up, we'll do a bigger boy. We'll do the recently released deluxe heavy duty, which I want to do his review sometime soon. And also I have to do this guy's review as well. Blowtorch. And Blowtorch here. I'm going to have to fix his ankles first. He's a little bit... there we go. There you go. Two recent releases with a recent / not that recent release in Dial Tone, technically. But there you go with those. And I think that might do it for comparisons and such. There's not too much. I guess we could do one more. We'll do the, was it the Shadow Guard? And we'll do a Build-A-Figure. Here's a Monitor. There you go. There's another one for you. And you know what? I'll do one more. That's it. We'll do a custom. Because customs are always fun to show off. And expect a video on a couple customs I have. This is the Shadows of the Empire Luke Skywalker custom that I finished up. So there's that. Coming for you. I'm coming for you. Sorry. So stay tuned for that video because I do have to do some Black Series stuff. But that's it for comparisons. That's pretty much, you know, within the realm of what we're used to with 6-inch figures. I mean, it's not anything too crazy. Applebone said, speaking of Mattel, what's your thoughts on Mattel getting back the license for DC again? Also, that Invisible Man figure looks amazing. Might get him. Yeah, he's a good one. I mean, I don't think they're really all that expensive either, those Universal Monsters from Jada Toys. They're solid figures, and they come with a bunch of fun, cool accessories, too, that you could also mix and mash and use with other characters, too. So, but yeah, as far as Mattel getting the license back, I mean, I'm fine with it as long as the figures are of the quality of what the Masterverse line is doing. I'm perfectly fine with Mattel and them getting the license back. I mean, I don't really have control over any of that, so it's kind of, that's what it is. That's the story of the situation. I think McFarlane wanted out. I don't think he really wanted the license anymore. That's just my personal opinion. But I enjoy McFarlane's figures. I always have, even as a kid. I remember getting the first Spawn and really liking him. I still have him. So, but yeah, this guy's pretty cool. I like Dial Tone here. What do you guys think? Are you going to pick up Dial Tone? I think he's a fun character, fun figure. I think he's got, and this is a character I never had as a kid. He was always one of those elusive ones. I always had Mainframe, and I never had a Dial Tone. And I always wanted to pair those two up. So hopefully we get a Mainframe to go with Dial Tone. That would be pretty cool too. So, But he's fun. I like him. I think they did a good job designing him and bringing him to life in 6-inch form. So, speaking of customs, whatever happened to the Red Hood Joker custom? I think that's in storage somewhere. So I have stuff in storage. I moved down to South Carolina about just over 5 years ago, and there's a lot of DC stuff that's still up in Buffalo, New York, where I'm originally from. A lot of stuff in storage up there, and there's stuff here. So it's kind of didn't have room for everything. So I think that's one of them that are back home. So after this review, I might get him. He feels worth it. Yeah, I think this is a good bang for your buck at $25. You can't beat him. I think he is available for pre-order on a couple websites still. Maybe Entertainment Earth has him. I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me. But he's a solid figure. I think it's very, very well done. I love the little computer in the back that pops out. That is just so fun and cool. So I'm going to have a lot of fun shooting photos with this guy and just going on adventures, And that's the other thing. It's always cool to see stuff like this because then it kind of gives you the thought process of, oh, are we going to get a psych out because the little dishes, and maybe how much of a redesign will we get for psych out, because that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is the part of the video where I usually just kind of like to chat with you guys for a little while. And we can talk about some of the recent releases or reveals. I know there was a bunch of regular reveals. I'll bring in some other figures in here so we're not just staring at Dial Tone randomly. Here's a Starduster. He's pretty cool. He's fun. But yeah, I think some of the reveals that we got, what was it? A new character in Grim Reaper. He's a Range Viper. A lot of people are kind of complaining about the reuse for the minigun that he comes with, or the Gatling gun or whatever it is. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, I have more than enough other accessories to give him if I want to change his character. I don't think that's nearly as big of a deal that people are really making it out to seem like. They're more so just kind of, a lot of people are just kind of complaining about the accessories that the figures are coming with, and I'm like, guys, like, how many accessories do you guys not have? No accessories? Like, I don't know. I've been collecting for a long time, so I have a shit ton of accessories that I can use for figures that I don't like what they come with. I mean, not every figure comes with stuff that I like. Like, here's a perfect example. This Jim Gordon comes with this kind of, came with an old-timey, I think, is this his? I think I replaced it. Yeah, it came with this, like, old-timey revolver, and I gave him this like updated one. I think this might be from Action Force, but just because that one revolver doesn't break the figure, I don't think that's really an argument to be made. I think that's kind of a huge nitpick. Oh, I never gave my verdict for Dial Tone. 2 thumbs up, full recommendation for Dial Tone. Go pick him up. So I like Grim Reaper. I think they need to lean more into giving us new characters. They create the lore, Hasbro does, because they own the license for G.I. Joe. And I think it would be nice if they actually created more and more characters. We got, Parth Varma, Wolf Spider. And it's been kind of few and far between that we get a new character. So it'd be nice if they invested some time and some effort and some money into some new characters as well. Not even ones that are featured in the comics, which, I mean, that would be nice to add into as well. But also some brand new characters that you can create your own stories with and stuff like that. I think that's a great way to bring in new collectors and satisfy some older collectors. It's like, oh, we got a brand new character and let's learn about him. Let's figure out what he's all about or she's all about, That I feel like that would be a great way to lean into this classified line and kind of have it step further apart from other toy lines that don't really offer that from big companies. like you don't get too many new characters. It's kind of like the same old nostalgia stuff over and over and over again. While that's great and it has a place, you kind of have to look towards the future a little bit, you know? Um, I don't know. I just think maybe one character every other wave that's a new character that would be wonderful. So, but yeah, so I like Grim Reaper. I think he looks really good. The Desert Scorpion looks really nice. I like the fact that he actually came with a spear like the FSS figure did. The original figure didn't come with a spear. He came with like the Scorpion. The FSS one came with like a mechanical kind of like drone Scorpion, which was pretty cool. A nice little update. But they went back for the classified release. They're gonna go back to an organic Scorpion that's just like really large. So that'll probably be a deluxe figure, which is fine. It's what it is. They love doing deluxe figures, which, you know, if the animal makes sense for it to be deluxe, then that's fine. So Desert Scorpion looks really good. Grim Reaper looks pretty cool, and you know, a lot of people were kind of complaining, why don't they just do Skullbuster? And I'm like, my guy, they're gonna do Skullbuster. Like, you don't think they're gonna want to reuse that mold that's pretty popular is the Range Viper, and they probably know they dropped the ball initially with Range Viper because he was harder to get initially, him being an exclusive. I think I only found one, so the blue version. But then I got the 3-pack with the his tank strike team. But it'd be nice to have some more Range Vipers, and like I said, I'm sure, you know, Skullbuster is just essentially a purple repaint of a regular Range Viper, so I'm sure we'll get that. What else did they reveal here? Oh, Sci-Fi. We're getting a Sci-Fi figure, which that would be really cool. And he's an all new body, which is great. So at least that's what I think that's what they said, was they use an all new body, and I don't see any reuse on the body, to be honest with you. So I don't know. It's another welcomed new edition, first time in the line character. So that's nice. I like that. And I think it looks great. They changed the gun, but who cares? I'm fine with that. Classified needs to, if you're going to do some classic looks, you got to add something in that's a little bit more special to kind of set itself apart from just being a kind of a boring, I don't know, re-release from the Cold War era. You know, it kind of gets a little bit like you're doing, you know, too much of the old, you know. But so I like all of those releases. I'm trying to think of the last one. I can't think for some stupid reason here. Let's see if I can remember. Let me see if I can look it up, because I know there was 4. There was there's Desert Scorpion, there's Grim Reaper, there's Sci-Fi, and Wetsuit. That's what it was. Thank God I don't have to look that up. Yeah, Wetsuit. I think, you know, he does look a little bare bones. I would say if I had any sort of reservations about any of the 4, if they were like, okay, pick one that's, you know, maybe the least of favorite of yours, I would say Wetsuit's kind of a little bit lackluster just in the accessory department. He should probably come with like an MP5 something. I think he only just comes with like a knife, and let me see what he comes with again so I can be accurate about it. I don't want to sound like a doofus. Let's see here. All right, so he, as my page is loading here. Getting all these notifications now. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, iPad. I believe in you. So he comes with his knife. He does come with a pistol. It's kind of like a, I'm not sure what kind of pistol that is. Maybe it's like an underwater gun of some sort. But he comes with like um, new flippers that are kind of like pointy in the center, which I think that's pretty cool. You don't want all the flippers to look the same. He comes with like an underwater light, a dagger, his breathing apparatus, backpack, which attaches to the breathing apparatus. And then he comes with his underwater. I'm not sure what the technical term is. Underwater ski. I'm not sure what that is, but or what the name of it is. I know what it is, but anyway, I think it looks pretty good. Regardless, I'm gonna make a separate live stream video, kind of talking about um, some of the releases, but I'm probably gonna do it after San Diego Comic Con for all the reveals, and I also do want to touch on my thoughts, comments, pros and cons to the HasLab Snowcat because I haven't really touched on that. I touched on it a little bit in my last live video, but yeah, I'll touch on it in one big video. Also, question: what is your favorite figure from last year? Just from Classified or in general, like my favorite figure of last year? Because as far as Classified goes, last year, I'm trying to think. Oh my god, I can't even think what the hell came out last year. I'm trying to think. There's some figures that came out last year that I had on my list that I wasn't able to get because they sold out before I had a chance to get them. That I did get this year. So um, I'm trying to think as far as Classified. What came out last year? Because there's a ton of stuff that comes out every year. I don't know. I would be honest with you. I'd have to look at. I guess I can look at a list here. As soon as I see the list, I'll be able to pick one. Let's see if we got it. All right. G.I. Joe, complete G.I. Joe classified figure release of last year. I did. It's not my favorite, but I did like the Falcon and Quarrel 2-pack. That was really nice. I think that was this year, though, wasn't it? Because also saying Heavy Duties on this page. I know Heavy Duty just came out this year, so. Not including exclusives here. Doc was up there. I really liked Naugahyde. Doc is a really well done figure. This is tough. I'm trying to think here. Did the Soul Viper come out last year? I thought he came out this year. Let's see. Agent Helix came out like 2 years ago. Sorry, I'm looking right now. I mean, Retro Duke, I'm pretty sure he came out last year. He's a good one. If I have to pick one, actually, you know what? Alpine was really well done. I really like that Alpine. He grew on me a lot. So, and he's a lot of fun to play around with outside and shoot as far as like photos and stuff. So I might go with Alpine and Doc as my two favorites of last year. If I got to pick a favorite Cobra, probably Naugahyde. I think technically he's a Dreadnought, and I'm not really that high on the Dreadnoughts, but probably Naugahyde. I think he's really fun, well done. A lot of people would probably go Road Pig instead, but I like Naugahyde. Raptor was really fun too. He's a fun figure. But yeah, Naugahyde, and then probably Alpine and Doc, because Alpine I think came out just before the end of the year. He kind of snuck in there because I remember doing his figure review in December, and I got him just before Christmas. So, but yeah, what's everybody's favorite classified from last year? If you're watching this on playback, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I think that might draw this to a close. I'll give you guys a couple more minutes in case you're trying to answer my question. But other than that, I think that's going to end it here. Like I said, I'm going to probably be shooting that that big ticket item tomorrow. I'll be shooting it during the day. I'm probably going to have to shoot it downstairs on my kitchen table because it's a large situation. And I don't know if I can fit it into my collection room to shoot the video. So we'll have to see how it goes there. But yeah, I'm going to shoot a couple more videos today and hopefully be able to upload them for the next week or so. I'm going to try and get more out to you guys. So, but other than that, if there's no more questions or no more answers or anything like that, or anything I can show for this figure of Dial Tone, I will end it here. So, but yeah, thank you to Applebone for commenting, and thank you to everybody who watched the live review of Dial Tone here. I really like the figure. I think he's a solid pickup at the regular retail price. Applebone says, my favorite figure from last year. This isn't G.I. Joe, but has to be Death's Head from the San Diego Comic-Con 2024. Yeah, he's a solid figure too. If you were just talking about favorite figure of last year, period, that would be a tough call because I was collecting multiple lines last year. I kind of trimmed down how many action figure lines I'm collecting now. I don't know. I honestly would have to think about that if it's just not classified, because then I have to look at everything that came out last year and kind of consider what the options were there. But yeah, I think I'll end it here. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy it. You're one step closer to the weekend, and enjoy your weekend. Like I said, I'll be uploading videos in the next few days. I'm going to be shooting videos as soon as I get done with this video. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this live review. I do have channel memberships in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. Thank you to all my members currently. And yeah, if you're watching this on playback, like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is free, and it helps the channel grow. Other than that, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. And I'll see you guys on the flip side.